True story. One time, I was at like a night dance at store, and they had a whole bunch of National Smell My Hand Day um, paraphernalia, like greeting cards and wrapping paper and bags. And I thought I have discovered the most amazing gift. Like the wrapping and the card it's such a gift. I still have them. It's important to smell your own hand. That was on the card. I can smell my own hand. And I can. And it smells like roses. Maybe that's what it is. National Smell Your Own Hand Day. That's what I got right now.
Kirsten's Agenda is the name of my show. It's a way to make art and learn stuff and grow. There will be lots of segments and maybe some guests. 10 minutes of deep breath, that is my quest. Opening up is a really good place to start. Kirsten's Agenda.
I want to think about Darvo. What is Darvo? I know what it is. Maybe you know what it is. But let's have a little refresher. Deny, attack, reverse victim offender. Deny, attack, reverse victim offender is what it is. And I'm going to let you know a secret. If you point it out to somebody who's doing it to you, they do not care. So this is not for anybody else. This is for you and me to keep in our backpack of information. If you present someone with some information and they deny that that's happening, no, not happening, and then make something about you because you've brought them information about them, they're not taking radical responsibility. They're not going, oh, that happened. Let me think about where I participated in this. And then they flip it around and make it your problem. That is called deny, attack, reverse victim offender. It's very tricky, and you have to watch to see if it's happening because it's designed to dysregulate and sort of take your whole emotional state, take my emotional state as like hostage. And then you're like, oh no, I'm not even saying they're doing it on purpose, because a lot of this is learned behavior that we learn from somebody else, and then they're just doing it automatically. And look, people get what they want from doing that. So why wouldn't they keep doing it, right? I spend about 2 hours, I think, a week doing this show, like, you know, how it, like making the little videos and setting them up, putting them. And I want that 2 hours to like where I'm telling you and me stuff for us to keep in our craw, so that I don't know where our craw is, but I want you to keep it there until you need it and then use it. And then I want it to free you up so you have more time to go create things and make your city more beautiful, and let those people scream into the void and cry in their soup. And finally have to deal with their pain that's living in their spines, because that's why they're doing that to you and to me. They have pain that they're lashing out and they're saying something mean, or they're laughing at you, or they're doing something to distract them from something else. Okay, this is very cool. Today, we are going to be talking to Evan Lovett. Evan Lovett does this really rad, can I say rad? Can I age myself? Totally tubular Evan Lovett. We're gonna shoot ourselves into space because time doesn't exist. So we are here with Evan Lovett, who, if you don't know Los Angeles, does this fantastic thing, and it's called LA in a Minute, and you can find it all over the place. And you do, like you said, 3-minute moments about all these different things about Los Angeles, because you
Correct.
are a Los Angelino.
I've been in Los Angeles my entire life. Well, I mean, I lived out for 1 year, but 2 different years. But I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm from, now it's called North Hills, but when I was born there, it was called Sepulveda, geographic center of the San Fernando Valley. The butt of many, I'm not even gonna say jokes, but the Valley was always scorned and scoffed at. But my parents instilled this huge LA pride in me, including in the Valley, and I've seen it grown and develop. And I just like to uplift the history and the culture of all of Los Angeles.
One of the reasons why I wanted to start this show, or like actually the reason why I wanted to restart this show, is I know very little about this city that I live in. I know my corners. I know the random places I go. But the other thing I started to realize, because we are a wellspring of riches, you know, is that it's really susceptible to others sort of coming in and extracting from us. And the amazing rich culture that the people bring into here. I just feel like the people who have the most power sometimes don't realize, they aren't paying attention to what's happening in the community. But I feel like everyone in Los Angeles is starting to kind of wake up to this and double down on the community aspect. That's been my experience that I've been
Man.
experiencing recently. What about you?
What a segue. So this is honestly kind of why LA in a minute started. We're starting to realize that Los Angeles, even though it's 500 plus neighborhoods and more than 190 countries are represented here in Los Angeles, 244 languages, what binds us all and what ties us all together is LA. And we're starting to learn that there is a shared history and a shared culture. And there's this increased sense of community. LA is just like, all right, the world is, I don't want to say against us because it sounds so conspiratorial, but there is this big narrative against LA. So now LA is finally like, F that. We're banded together. This is a community. All our neighborhoods, independent pride, but together we're Los Angeles. And I think that's what people feel and what they are celebrating right now more than ever.
I agree with you. And I mean, look, those fires were like the worst thing that happened to say. It was the worst day of so many
What
people's
a great
lives.
point.
It was so horrible. But like everybody just threw every amount of resources all together. And this place that everybody says doesn't care about anybody, doesn't do anything. I'm like, I know 5 groups off the top of my head right now that if you want to, that actively go take care of unhoused people, that feed people, that take care of the kids. Like I know people who work at those things.
Brilliant point. I think the fires really were that moment. I don't want to say a special moment because it was a terrible moment.
It's terrible.
But what you saw in the aftermath was really special. Everybody, both from those areas, from adjacent areas, and from everywhere in LA, stepped up for all of the fire affected communities. But I think what we saw was that was a moment of togetherness.
Yeah, it's the alchemy that can happen. It can happen in any community, but that we alchemized what this horrible thing that happened to all these different communities. And yeah, I'm sure people will be like, oh, but the people in charge handled it. But people, we have to remember, I think it was a grand lesson in the people in charge can't take care of us. We have to be there for each other. We have to take care of us. And we have to show the people in charge how to behave. Also, Los Angeles, especially from the last city council meetings, the recent, I think they're getting more and more people engaged because what everyone is realizing is I used to think you vote for someone and you let it go, but we have to vote for someone.
So true.
And then we have to hang out and be like, ding dong, are you doing what I at? Hey,
Good
remember
job.
how you, anyway, my question to you is this mayoral race. Tell me your hot takes on that.
You have an increased awareness and interest in politics because of candidates on both sides, on all of the spectrum. Now it's different with social media and it's making people pay attention. I want to talk about like Kenneth Mejia was one of the guys that I think kind of like broke down the walls.
Yeah.
Where, man, what an unorthodox candidate. He's a kid. He's a young guy from the Valley, single mom, grew up anything but wealthy, but he worked his way up through hard work, dedication, bootstrapping, charisma.
Not connected to anybody, just wants to be honest. Yeah.
And a unique campaign of approaching people. You got to meet people where they're at, is what they say. I'd still like to see the younger, like 18 to 29, but
you need to wake that up. It'll get there.
But like now, making it clearer, making it more transparent, be like, this is what we do. This is what it's about. Here's how it goes. And this is why it matters. I think that's what what resonates with people.
Agreed. What are your like hidden gems that you wish people knew about? Like, is there a community that you feel like this one's so underrated? People should be going to this. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So yesterday was Father's Day, and they're like, what do you want to do? My son and my wife are like, what do you want to do? So where did I want to go? And this is such an awesome community. It's San Pedro, all the way the heck down at the tip near the Port of Los Angeles, but it's always such an amazing and fun place. You can only get to it. You got to go over the Vincent Thomas Bridge, which is a beautiful teal bridge. LA's most underrated bridge. And as you're going over the bridge, you see the Port of Los Angeles and just the scale. But then you get into San Pedro and you have Point Fermin, this beautiful park with a 150-year-old lighthouse. You have Sunken City, which you're not allowed to go to, but they make it very easy to access. San Pedro has I'm actually wearing one of the shirts.
Oh,
Chachi's. This is awesome. It's run by the son of Persian immigrants who moved here from San Francisco, quit their corporate jobs, opened a sandwich shop, and it's awesome. Like, I don't know what kind of bread, but it's like flat, not panini press. It's not like panini, but it's of that nature, like the flat, like crisp on the outside, soft on the inside sandwiches. But then across town, there's Busy Bee Sandwiches, which is in the back of a liquor store, just a counter, old school like deli sandwiches, but also fantastic pastrami. But there's also historic Little Italy in San Pedro. Like, who knew that LA had a Little Italy? And I definitely didn't know it was in San Pedro. Terminal Island is an island that used to be this old Japanese neighborhood, Furusatu, that was like a beautiful community that unfortunately until like internment in World War II, they bulldozed it. Now they have a beautiful monument that we went and saw. But like that hidden history and that lost history, even though it's sad, is such a Los Angeles thing because we bulldoze our past. Like, unfortunately, and going back to our earlier point, now we're starting to celebrate and recognize it, but that's what LA did, man. And like, so it's this big nexus of all these international communities, and they still have the remnants there because the best part is San Pedro is one of the communities of LA that passed preservation ordinances like in the 90s and 2000s where there's no new building, no McMansions. So everything's got the old facades. But two other things in San Pedro that are awesome. San Pedro Fish Market, which is like right on the harbor. You pick out your fish. They give you like a crab boil, but there's lobster. There's all kinds of different fish. It's just like a fun, like a massive patio, thousands of people, beer, fit, like old school, like think like crab boil, but it's like whatever fish and stuff you want, the potatoes and great sauce, but people are drinking beer out on the patio, out in the harbor. It's beautiful. Oh, and last thing, the Korean Bell of Friendship is also there, which was a gift from the Korean government in the 1970s when when Los Angeles and Korea really started developing strong ties. And it's this beautiful monument, molded on a bell that was from 770 AD in Korea that they gifted to us. It's 7 tons. It's massive in this like big, beautiful structure. And I want to instill in everybody, this is why LA is so cool. It's because every neighborhood has their landmarks, has their history, has awesome places to eat, and fantastic people that are always like prideful of their community in LA. But at the end of the day, it's always Los Angeles first. And that's the coolest thing about this place.
Shot back from the interview. So my hand motions brought it back. Not technology, hand motions. That was a thrill. I always know when things are a thrill because sometimes back here starts to hurt. And I'm like, why does it hurt back here? Is it my brain can't contain I don't know, but it hurt. And that's how I know good stuff was happening because of the pain in the back of my head. But that was a real delight. And go, please check out Evan Lovett. If you don't already know, you probably already do, because I feel like he's a grand finger pointer in Los Angeles in the best way. Go point your finger at something great.